a father, and that would make you a good surgeon, right? So that was such a beautiful sort of scene, and I think we'll go into why you became like a doctor and how that happened. But Vinayak, at some point of time, you were also a fetus yourself, right? And you were a little baby in your mother's stomach too. So what was Vinayak like as a child and a student, and where did you grow up? Just to give our viewers a background of who you were before you became the surgeon you are today.
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you, Abhishek, for considering to actually interview me into this. I hope I do justice
Mm.
to what you try to accomplish out of this, but I really hope, like people get answers or I can help people out. So, telling about myself, I'm actually a Keralite, but of Tamil origin, but I was born and raised in Bahrain. Bahrain is a kind of small, tiny island, beautiful in the Middle East. Okay, so and that's what we have in common, where we were raised both in Bahrain. So I was born and raised there. To talk about my childhood, I come from a very middle class family. My dad's, he's done his 10th and then he's just moved on to business and stuff. And this is something that happens in Kerala often where they just move to the Gulf. That's a lot of Keralites in the Gulf. So that's what my father did. And my mom's a teacher in the same school that I studied in. So it was always her passion to be a teacher. Her father was a professor. So it's probably it's in the line. So then so that's how my parents are. So I basically studied in the same school, which is called the Indian School Bahrain, which I'll tell you, I don't think I can talk enough about our school because it was such a beautiful place to grow up in. Because I'll tell you how it was different from other schools we had there. It was more or less like a public school of Indian culture
Right.
there in the Middle East. So, but when I say Indian culture, the school did not just comprise of Indian students. It comprised of Pakistan, Bangladesh, a lot of other places. So I personally, I always say that when people ask me where you're from, I always like to say that I'm a global citizen.
Mm.
And one reason for that was especially because I was raised there and I realized that all people, no matter what, we're all we're all people and we all want basically the same things
True.
and we are all basically the same. So I think that was like a very good place to grow up in, which
Nice.
made me realize, yeah, that we should all think of ourselves as global citizens. So what I personally don't believe in regional boundaries
True.
is what I need to say.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
amazing,
So then
Vinayak.
that's how. Yeah.
Because it's so interesting when you introduce yourself. You put your identity of being a Keralite but of Tamil origin, but you also um, I think one of the things about being a third culture child, because you grow up in another country, right?
Yes.
And but it's interesting how when you grow up in another country you try staying more rooted to your identity and your cultural background in so many different ways. And I know your
Yeah.
mother was a dance teacher, right? And a performing arts teacher. She also taught me at some point of time. So, um, like, and I know she was such a wonderful teacher, but the fact that you had access to her at home must have been such a luxury. But were there some things you were interested in your free time, Vinayak? Apart from schoolwork, I think kids are always interested in other things. And I know, I always used to see you win all these cultural competitions at school. I think there was
Yeah.
Ritu and Harmony, and you were like the superstar in all of those
Yes.
competitions. So was there any other passion in the performing arts space that you had growing up, and and how did that influence your thinking in general?
Yeah. So yeah. So what I can tell you about that is, I was good at studies. Maybe I don't know, but I was fascinated by science. Science was something that always fascinated me. So growing up, I had no exposure to science at home, but like you said, exposure to my mom was a luxury. I would say she's my role model. She's the kind of person who picks things up in you, and if she knows that it's beyond her, she'll find the people who can help you.